Hey, what's going on guys? Dante Trades here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to pass prop evals easy, and this works with any prop firm. I'm going to go over my results, and I'm going to teach you pro strategies and show you my exact trades and setup I use to pass so you can do this to get funded consistently. And I'm going to show you how to pass strategies again and tips. I'm a six-figure trader. If you want a 100% free futures trading course, link to that will be in the description. Now, really quick, I made this video using Funded Next Futures. I often trade Take Profit Trade, etc. as well. But if you're interested in Funded Next Futures, you can use the code DTRADE. You can save 5%, or you can use the link in the description to get whatever the best discount they are running at the time when you're watching this video. If you use that link, you will always get the best discount. And if you trade with Take Profit Trader, it's 40% off that, no activation fee. All the link to that stuff will be in the description. Now, really quick, I just want to show you my results to show you that I actually passed this account here. And you can see this is the back end. I have to blur anything that is going to be obviously sensitive, but you can see here profit target hit, which was 1,500. For whatever reason on Funded Next, the best trader doesn't update, and this other stuff doesn't update. But I just want to show you, like, this is, this is a real account, and I actually did pass this just like on my other ones. But there you go. So the passing strategy that I use is going to be their rapid account. So with the rapid accounts, you can pass in 1 day / 1 trade. So I'm just using rapids to pass again in 1 day with 1 trade using an A+ trade or setup. So for me personally, I'm not going to be focused on trading evals for weeks. That's a waste of my time. I know that I have a working strategy that does work. And to be 100% transparent with you guys, I did have some other evals with Funded Next that I was trading, and I was up, I was up decent on them, like a couple $100, but I was already 2 going on 3 weeks into those accounts. And I realized that I was just not trading my normal strategy because I was trying to trade for YouTube and look cool and have like great stats so I can make these videos. And I realized that that's absolutely stupid. If I was trading my normal strategy, I would probably have, 3 to 5 to 7, maybe even 7+ funded accounts at that time. At the end of the day, I just realized that I'm here to make money, not to look cool on YouTube. And I was just like, I'm either going to pass these accounts or I'm not. And literally after I made that decision, going from not passing an account or just being up, decently on an account in 2 to 3 weeks versus just passing it in 1 day, right? So I did fail some accounts, but I got funded literally within a few hours of going to my normal strategy. So for me, that's worth my time, because if you spend 2+ weeks in evals, 3-4 weeks in evals, let's say you get 10 evals, you're literally talking about, 6 to 10 months just trading evals. And for me, that's a complete waste of time, and I hate trading in evals. So this is why I just do my normal strategy. And then once I get funded, then I trade normally and just trade my regular strategy. Now this does work on Take Profit Trader and other firms that you cannot pass in 1 trade, etc., like I've showed you guys in other videos. But lately I've just been trying to just focus on trading those firms that you can just pass in 1 trade, because speed is king in my opinion. Again, like I said, I don't want to be trading inside of evals, wasting my time for literally 6 months to 10 months out of the year. That's absolutely ridiculous when you really think about it at a higher time scale. For me, that's just absolutely worth it. And this is like my strategy. So what is my strategy and how did I pass? So I trade using volume profile and order flow. Now you may say, what is volume profile? Volume profile is a tool that shows you exactly where the most trading is happening in the market. This lets you see the true volume and liquidity behind the markets in real time. And this pinpoints where institutional investors are putting money to work, right? The key parts of the volume profile is the point of control. This is the single most point where big players are active. So if we look at this example here on the right side of the screen, you can see this level here. This is the point of control. This is just where true value is being held when it comes to the point of control. So when it comes to the point of control, this is where you see a lot of choppy price action, because generally speaking, buyers and sellers agree that this is a fair price for whatever session that you're trading, or whatever asset that you're trading, right? So when the price comes to the point of control, you just see a lot of more chopping and just transactions and consolidation. The value area high is going to be this zone at the top here. So the value area high represents expensive or premium. So generally speaking, when we get to the value area highs, I'm looking for shorts. There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, value area highs, expensive or premium, we're looking for shorts off those levels. And the value area low is the same thing, but the opposite. When the price comes to the value area lows for the session, generally speaking, looking for longs and bounces off that area, because that represents discount or cheap prices based off whatever session you're trading. And the last concept you need to know This is going to be called high volume nodes. As you can see here, these green bars on the volume profile, where you really want to pay attention to as well is when you see like we have a low volume area here, but then all of a sudden you see we have like this like larger notch of a volume. When you see these bigger shelves of volume, we have one here as well, where the volume is low, then all of a sudden we see a spike in volume. That's generally an area that you want to pay attention to, because we have a strong chance of reactions and bounces, etc., off these levels. So these are just liquidity zones that you want to pay attention to, and you want to use them in Confluence to shape up trades. Now, this is the exact example trade that I took to pass my account. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for 3+ confluences inside of a trade to give me an A+ setup, right? You can have 4 confluences, 5 confluences, etc. But for me to have an A trade, it needs to be 3 confluences. Now, what inside of this trade here made this trade 3 confluences? So the first thing that we see here is you can see that we have this volume node here. You can see that I drew this box here. You can see the volume is building right here. So we had a volume node here. That's 1 confluence for me, right? A volume node there. Now, why was that volume node, that random volume node, a confluence for me? Because it was forming on top of this gap level. Now, this gap level was I always draw these kind of higher time frame levels. You can see here I have CPI on my chart. I have the previous day low. I have the previous week point of control, previous day point of control. We're not going to get into all that stuff, but I have these higher time frame levels that I draw on my chart, that when we reach these points, you generally see on a higher time frame that you see a reaction from these levels. And in this case, we were developing a high volume node on top of a gap level that we saw a lot of reaction from before. So we had a high volume node developing on top of what? A higher time frame level. So again, that higher time frame level plus the high volume node developing on that level, that gap level, that gave me 2 confluences. Now, what was the third and the last confluence to make this an A trade for me? As you can see here, also in confluence and within the same general area of that trade, just like less than a point away from each other, or about a point away from each other, we had also as well here, we had the current session value area low, right? The current session value area low. And what did we say? The current session value area low generally represents discount. You can see, obviously, we ran like way down here, and then we came to this higher time frame level. We built up a bunch of volume and liquidity on that level. And then also that was in confluence where we were developing a current session value area low. And again, what do we say about value area lows? Generally represents discount or cheap prices. So again, that's 3 levels that made this an A+ trade for me again. So again, we have the high volume node being developed on top of a higher time frame level, which in this case was that gap level that we identified in the charts. And then on top of that, we had the current session value area low, all in that range. So that was 3 things that made that an A+ setup for me. And as you can see there, it played out exactly as we wanted to there. We had that bounce exactly from that level, and then we came up and we passed the account, right? So for me, for my A+ setups, I have generally around a 70% win rate. So, and again, this is just how I like to like pass my eval accounts now. Just wait for that one A+ trade. And I know on my A+ setups, I have generally around a 70% win rate. So I just wait for these A+ trades to set up, and then we just go ahead and pass the accounts. This is much more efficient than sitting around for like 2 or 3 weeks and like slowly building up the account, in my opinion. And this is how I like to do. Now, again, if you're trading other firms like Take Profit Trader, which I do love as well, I showed you guys how we use these setups as well to pass, but obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. And I'm even still being more aggressive when it comes to Take Profit Trader as well, just because me personally, I just literally don't have the patience to sit around for weeks and weeks and months per year, 3-4 months plus per year, just wasting my time trading evals. And again, once we actually get funded, then we trade our, just consistently and properly to get those payouts. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you learned something from that, make sure you drop a like, comment. Again, you can get a 100% free futures trading course, link in the description, and discounts to all the prop firms, etc. will be in the description and the comments as well. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.